Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 322 at scavengerlife.com.
It is now early August.
Yes.
And I think we have been going full bore since we got back from a trip in late May. So it's been like 2-ish months.
Yeah.
When we've been basically constantly, it's working, you know?
On many different things.
Right.
Not just eBay, but
Right.
on eBay.
But the good news is I feel like this is a weekend where I feel like we've turned the corner. We've kind of done a lot of the stuff we wanted to do, and now we can kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah. I definitely, we had all these things in a row that were happening week after week after week after week, and finally we're like, okay.
And I think for anyone who works for themselves can understand this. Is about, you know, if you put these things in front of you that you want to get done because you feel it's important for your business or
Right.
you're trying to, do these projects, and that, it's so much different than when you work for somebody else when, there's set, it's weekends or days off,
right.
where illegally they have to give you this time off.
This
and
is
when
your
you,
vacation.
Right, and when you
Yeah.
work for it yourself, you have to do that on your own, and sometimes you forget or you just don't make that time.
Right, right.
And so I think for me, it's a reminder of how important it is to set those days aside.
Yes, absolutely.
Where you really don't have to do anything.
Right. You can do things at your leisure.
Yeah.
If you do want to do some work, you can do it in a casual way.
Yeah. Because
that's what I did yesterday.
Right. Because if not, that's where the burnout happens,
Yeah.
When you start to, it's question why am I doing this? This is no fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely had those days.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Yeah. Well, but, we talked about that. I mean, when we were in the middle of those 2 months and really kind of stressing ourselves out, trying to get stuff done, I mean, we talked about this where I was like, we could stop at any time.
I know.
This is self-imposed work we're doing,
right. Yeah. I mean, that is a good thing to say, but it's hard when you have people working for you and they've scheduled you in and they're depending on that work. It's hard to be like, and let's just take a break.
Right. I mean, the good news is by pushing ourselves for these spurts, I mean, we really did get through a hump, and now we almost have another rental that's up and going.
People stayed in it.
Yeah, my sister and her family stayed this past week at her new place, kind of as a testing ground, just to see how the house worked, and it worked great. The shower, people were taking showers.
People were taking baths.
They were cooking whole meals.
They were cooking. They used the dishwasher.
That's right.
There's a dishwasher.
They were, hanging out all over the house in different ways.
We put a grill together.
Yeah, they grilled. So the house works. Now we just have to kind of fine tune it.
Right.
And, what does all this have to do with eBay? Well, I mean, eBay is a thing that helped us pay for all of this.
Yep.
And, and again, as we say, it's once we were able to get our eBay store up and it's going, we can now take these periods of time where we can work on other things.
Yeah.
And our eBay store is still going.
Yep. Yep.
So we are definitely team big inventory.
I was listing yesterday.
Yeah.
And what's funny is you were like, we keep selling a bunch of stuff every week and I don't feel like our store is getting smaller. And I'm like, because we list stuff. I've started listing from the backlog of scheduled listings.
Well, there was about 2 months there where we didn't really...
Right, no, you're right.
...put up as much stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yesterday, your day to, chill out was to list on eBay.
Yeah, which is funny. But I got to do it in a very casual way, at my own pace.
And it's my day to chill out was driving to DC.
That was not a chill-out day.
To pick up another piece of furniture off of Craigslist. And when my sister was here, she's got 2 young boys.
Yeah.
6 and 8, who are my family.
They're your nephews.
And you know what? I've said it before. I just cannot. I couldn't run a business if we had children. It's like that. I don't know how people do it.
I don't know. No. They just require constant attention.
I also don't remember ever being as crazy when I was a kid, but maybe I just forget.
You ask your parents. Yeah.
I just cannot believe that they're
just
like
the amount
little,
of energy they have is just
like
unlimited.
A little psychotic little aliens. I just
Yeah.
don't understand what they're talking about or what they're trying to do and how they think, and it just makes no sense. You know?
Sometimes it feels very chaotic.
Yeah.
There were some days where we were like, I mean, you made a joke, but there was one night where I came home and I jumped on the bed. I fell asleep with my clothes on with the light on.
Yep. And we were really only around them for 2 full days.
Yeah,
so.
like we just spend an afternoon. You know, we wouldn't spend a full day with them. We spend an afternoon with them.
So how anyone, you know, like people that come on a forum and they talk about how they sell and they have like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 kids of different ages. I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Right. Like I barely had time just to pick my phone up to check
my email. Yeah, I was like, I mean, there were times where there would be downtime where the kids were watching a movie or like playing games and stuff, and you know, but
well, yeah, my sister, she tries to get them to not just be on their computers, you know, their iPads all the time. So she sets aside time when they're allowed to.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's time for them to be able to get on their iPads and watch YouTube
videos or play Minecraft or whatever.
I mean, it's like suddenly a different atmosphere.
It's like
if I had kids, it would be like they're on the computer all the time. Like go
all
for
the time.
It. Yeah.
Don't even talk to me. Just get on the computer.
True. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're like. I'm like, don't talk to me. I'm on my computer.
Yep. And it's good, you know.
We're like at the table, both on our phones. Like,
it's go to the other place. It's fine. Okay, so eBay this week, a couple things. We noticed that we had some sales in countries that were previously not on the
global shipping list. Okay, so the first one, I noticed the big long global shipping address had the last letters MX, which is Mexico. I'm like, wow. That would be a huge market to get into if because shipping USPS to Mexico, stuff takes 3 months to get there, if it gets there at all. I've shipped stuff there, and they're like, where's my thing? I'm like, 2 more months, dude. It'll probably get there, which is crazy. And the other one was Russia. Now, I've never had a problem sending first class or priority to Russia. It's always gotten delivered. But it's kind of cool that global shipping might be opening up to Mexico and Russia. I've seen a few. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, has anyone seen shipping to China? That would also be a huge market. I would also love it if they opened up to India, because I don't want to send stuff directly to India. I want them to do it like DHL or whatever their preferred like shipping carrier is with full tracking. I would love that, because that's a huge market, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange that eBay doesn't really announce these things because I think it's a really big deal because they're opening up. Yeah, huge, millions of people suddenly have access to our items in a way that's guaranteed, like, which is safe for everybody.
Right, for the buyer and the seller. Like the buyer can be confident, hey, I'm going to get this. Right. There's going to be full tracking and insurance.
Yeah, and I'm assuming, I guess the way that they do that is they just go in and make contracts with the local post office in those countries to, say, we get it to you at this place, then you'll take it from there, and you'll feed us information about where the item is, so everyone's up to date.
Like when we were in India, we took a trip to India about 10 years ago. Now seems like a long time, but I remember talking to our friends who lived in India, and they're like, oh, you can only ship DHL. Like, it has to be DHL, and they'll actually get it to us. Right. So I just wonder if they're making, like, I don't know what the shippers, if DHL or FedEx is guaranteed in Mexico, but maybe I'll have to check the tracking and see if it says like who they're using down there. But I mean, that's a great market to be able to sell to.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of countries in it's South America that are not on the
Right.
global shipping program.
And people never get their
Right.
stuff. When we
And then
ship them.
India and China, those are also big ones.
Huge
yeah.
markets. There's
Yeah.
1 billion people in both those countries.
Yeah.
2 billion people. I mean, come on.
And it's strange since
amazing.
China has such, I mean, there's so much stuff coming from
China,
that country.
yeah.
You would think that it'd be easy just to say, okay, well now
So
we'll
now send it back. Send
these things
something
back,
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing is eBay asked us, and I'm sure a lot of other people, we saw a notice on our dashboard to opt into this new.
Yeah, it's the guaranteed delivery, right? So there's 2 different choices we saw on the page, and it says you can guarantee your handling time or you can guarantee the shipping date. And what I think they mean by that is like the arrival date of the item. So I opted into the handling time because I can guarantee I can definitely ship in 1 day. I know I can, unless we're away and we change
Right.
our handling time, but then you don't have to do it.
Right,
But-
so that means we guarantee that we will have the item out the door and scanned by a postal person.
Right.
It's within 1 day.
1 day.
So that's what we are guaranteeing. And then I guess eBay says as long as we have it scanned, it's within our handling time. Then if it doesn't get to the person on time, then I guess eBay is going to pick up the its shipping cost.
I mean, that's amazing if that's
Yeah.
true. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, the whole point is to get your stuff up in search ranking.
Right.
That it's like, any other gimmick to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because eBay is like now a buyer can say, I need this item, in a certain time.
Right.
And so
And
it's like the 2-day Amazon, basically.
And I've been buying a ton of stuff on eBay for the new rental, just little things, coasters, whatever, dishwasher, soap, blah, 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 And it's tough because you're like, I would love this to come, on Wednesday if I order it Sunday night. And you're just like, probably not going to happen,
Well,
but
I mean, the interesting thing is we do buy a lot of stuff on Amazon as well as eBay.
Yeah.
And I find like Amazon,
it's not a,
I
yeah.
find like a lot of those people do not ship very quickly.
Well, in one of them too, and you got so pissed at this. I was buying this special door handle, and you're like, "This is coming from Canada. This is going to take forever,"
Well, I mean, my question is, when you bought the item, did it tell you
I don't
that?
think so. I think it's just that whole Amazon thing where everything's blank, and they'll tell you when it ships.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when you buy something before, if it's in your cart, it tells you this is going to come. It's within 2 to 10 days or whatever. And then if you want a faster, you can pay.
I'm pretty
more
sure
for
I was
that.
just like, 2-day shipping, like the free 2-day shipping or whatever.
So I guess my question is,
I can't remember.
if they guarantee 2 days, and can't you complain about
Oh yeah,
that? mean, that's
I
my
don't
thing.
know. I
Okay.
mean, look, I don't know. Like you're obsessed with this, and
I
it's
got
just
her into
like-
a corner. I
it's-
backed her into a
It's
corner.
just like, dude, I didn't know. It's here. It's sitting on our table. It's gonna get installed. Like, calm down. But yeah, I hear you. I think the problem with Amazon is there's 2 different things. There's eBay and Amazon. On Amazon, you're like everything's 2-day, and it's not. Because there's third-party merchants, and you kind of don't know.
Real quick, not everything on Amazon is 2-day. I think that's where you're getting. It's
No, I'm not
confused.
saying. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying people think that.
Right.
People, even me, I'm like everything's
Right.
2-day. It's
Everything
gonna get
is
here,
not 2
and it's
days.
not. It's
Right.
not. On eBay, you're like, this is coming from somebody's garage.
Right.
Like, who knows when they're going to ship it? It's a good price. It's fine. Whatever.
Right.
Hopefully, it'll get here pretty quick. Another thing too is like, I order stuff on rejuvenation.com, like their own website. It's this fancy whatever. They sell hardware and lighting and stuff like that. It took them forever to ship these things, and it took forever to get here. You're like,
Right.
Rejuvenation,
So
come on.
I just want to say though, I've always said I don't think a shipping fast is that big of a deal. I don't think that because things don't ship the next day, hinders people from buying items. Especially, I mean, there are some things like I need printer paper, I need it tomorrow. I need diapers, I need it
Right.
tomorrow. I get that people want that quickly, but for the most part, I mean, we've seen it. People are willing to wait, a month to get an item. If it's not
special,
like,
yeah.
like if it's a collectible, if it's something like that. So
Yeah.
I personally don't think it's a big deal, but eBay does this every 6 months. They try and add something new. And so this is a new thing. They're trying to get people to ship quickly.
Right.
And and so it's fine.
Yeah.
And so we're always willing to try a lot of these things. So we opted in, and so we chose to guarantee the handling time that we did.
Yeah, I can handle it in one day.
So the other one is interesting. It's like guaranteed door to door. So that's where you set up your shipping cost and speeds by the its region. So that's
right. So you're like, if you're in the same state, it'll be there within 1 to 2 days or whatever. But
see, that's kind of an interesting one. I don't know why people would choose that one, because then you're hoping that the post office doesn't, slow things down.
Right. And so what's hard is, I've sent things. Look, I've sent things to Los Angeles, and they've gotten there in 2 days, right? First class, and you're like, great, that's awesome. I've also sent other things to Los Angeles where people are like, it's been 8 days. Where is this? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's parcel post, and it should show up. I'll open a case with USPS, and then the next day it's there. And you're like, well, that took 10 days. I have no idea why. It just got caught somewhere, But isn't the point that if it does get caught somewhere, that eBay's going to pick up the cost for it? That's what's so crazy. You're like...
Now, the interesting thing is it's with the handling time. So it says you must offer either same day or 1 day handling.
Right.
That's what you've done. We cannot list the flat rate freight as a shipping option, which we don't do.
No.
We must accept its returns. We do that.
Yeah.
The listing must state the carrier has serviced as opposed to just any shipping format,
like a standard
economy expedited.
shipping. It's like it has to be like, this is USPS.
So have we done that? Or?
I mean, I have it all as either FedEx SmartPost or USPS First Class.
Okay, cool.
That's what or Priority.
Gotcha.
It's all stated as who I use.
Got it. And then the offer, it must be immediate pay. So buy it now and not.
Okay, so not like a auction. Make an offer.
No, I mean it can't be an auction. It has to be. That is interesting. So what if you had...
I guess it's based on when they pay.
Right.
That's how it is now.
Right.
It's based... The handling... Like, I have someone who hasn't paid for something. 5 days go by, and you're like, well, obviously my handling time is from when they pay. Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I mean, it's it's one of those things, like, we're always willing to try things out. And some things are good and seem to help, and some things just is kind of, they fall flat. Like when eBay was really trying to push everyone to ship for free. Like,
that did not happen.
Everyone, I mean, I think by now we've all kind of seen like that, everyone ship free hasn't really worked out. Like,
and people
most
just
of
up
us,
their price.
Yeah, most of us aren't
because it's not free.
Shipping free,
so
right?
You get it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, everyone. I remember when eBay started that, like ship for free, and everyone said, "Oh, they're gonna make everyone just ship for free." Everybody, no way.
No.
And they've kind of backed away from that.
Yeah. And we still do fine with shipping prices.
Yeah, we tried it for I think a month, and then we stopped.
We were like, no,
because it did not
matter. It didn't matter.
It did not improve
for us.
Our selling.
I'm sure it's different for different people.
Yeah, I mean, but a program is like, we already ship quickly, so it's good. Now, someone asked it's question though. What happens if we go on vacation, which we're going to do in a month?
Yeah,
I think what happens is you just go in and you bulk.
Yeah, you just change your handling time.
Right.
I mean, it's just like anything else, and then those don't count in the like fast guaranteed whatever. It's like, and then when you put it back on 1 day handling time, they go back in that category.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm...
So there's not a button that says opt out of that program. You just change the handling time.
I think you just change the handling time, because they were like, from what it said on that page, it was like, if everything's already same day or 1 day handling, it's automatically in the program.
Right.
If you want, say, just T-shirts to be in that program, you got to go put 1 day handling on those. You have to like... go choose I have to look on my listings and see if it says it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think something, it's like, when they do things, it's like, here, it's not a big deal for those of us that are always trying to improve anyway. I think this only kind of bothers people who like are trying to keep doing the old eBay way, where they want to ship in a week. They want to not take its returns. They, don't want to take PayPal. They're trying to hold on to the old way. So
they won't ship to Hawaii or Alaska,
right?
Which is crazy.
So
yeah.
Okay, it's just something random I wanted to mention before we get into our numbers for the week. August 21st, there's a full eclipse.
Yes.
And I'm actually, I've been hearing about it. I'm actually kind of like, it's not that far away from us. Like, there's like a band across America.
Like where you can see it?
Kind of starts up it's north, it's west, and goes south to the southeast. I think South Carolina is its closest spot. Mm-hmm. But it'd probably be pretty crazy to drive down there.
I mean, that's a lot. South Carolina is like a full day drive.
Right. But people say it's really cool. So I guess I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know. If anyone lives within that path on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I would love, and you wanted some guests. Like if you had a guest house we could rent, or if you had like a place we could camp or something, I would love an email, because I think I'd like to actually do this. And, if you're into the eclipse especially,
nice.
I would love to.
South Carolina. Yeah.
I would love to experience that. I just imagine like going down and like you're just like on the side of the road and there's like thousands of cars and just getting stuck. Yeah, so anyway, the eclipse is very well known. They know all the times, and you just have to look at the dates and times. It's on the 21st. It happens in like a 3-hour period.
Cool. I'm excited. Yep. Ooh, I want to see it.
Okay, so let's do our numbers for the week. So we had again another good week. I can confidently say our summer this year is so much better than a year ago.
Yep.
Like I kept worrying that we were going to hit that summer slowdown, and it really has not slowed down for us as much as it did a year ago when we were making $500 and $600 a week. So this week we sold $2,300, actually almost $2,400. We sold 59 items.
Wow.
I mean, again,
I was really shipping, that's for sure.
We're shipping like almost 10 items a day, you know?
There are times where I'm like, I wake up early and I'm like, dude, I got like 13 things to ship right now.
And I really don't know, I mean, other than the fact that we started to do clothes again.
And we've been listing consistently since October.
True. Those are the two big changes. But it's not like we're selling that many more clothes. I mean, there'll be some clothes here and there. It's just, we're selling just random stuff. We're selling stuff that we've had for a long time. We're selling stuff that we've put up recently. So there's no real thing, maybe
I just think we put more time into it.
Or it's Gremlin, an eBay guy who like pushed a button and said they're okay. We're gonna let them sell.
These guys are actually okay. Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah,
and eBay headquarters are like, okay, that one can go.
I guess so.
And then on our second store, we sold 10 items for about $350.
I mean, 10 items is a lot for the second store. I mean, there's definitely some low price items, like, in the second store, like.
Yeah.
But,
But we consistently, even though we do not put anything, it's new on our second store. It's like an autopilot store.
I think I put one thing on it this week.
We have a little under 1,200 items. We don't touch
autopilot.
it.
Yep.
Autopilot.
Yep.
We consistently make between $1,000 and $2,000
a month, which is great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Which is great. So even after fees, we're still walking away. It's with at least $1,000. So it's almost like that second store kind of helps pay bills, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Scavenge of the week. We did do some scavenging. We kind of.
Yes, we did.
We kind of carved out some time to do some scavenging, and one thing we found was a whole set
of that washer Bacher. I forget, it's like the longest name ever.
A German brand and of these plates, and they're the ones that have like hearts on them.
And now I've talked about these before, like 2 years ago, and I found a bunch of them. Just mugs and plates. I think I got them at an auction, and everyone's like, those are so ugly. And I'm like, yep, but they're like Wasserbach, which is like fancy German pottery that people collect. And so we found the same pattern. Just different things, like there's a couple little candle holders, some dessert plates. But I'll sell them like, there's like 3 dessert plates. I'll sell those together. There's a little tea kettle thing.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about that, about should they sell everything as one big thing? But and we're like, no,
to pack it that way.
do it in sections. So sell all the like small plates, sell all the big plates, sell all the cups.
Because people don't always need that. It's like someone's like, I need 3 dessert plates because mine broke.
Right.
And then they'll.
I mean, if you really want to be hardcore, you can do actually piece by piece.
No,
that's
crazy.
But that's really hardcore.
I mean, that's just no. That to me, that doesn't make sense.
So anyway, that's a good buy. It's for us. We bought the whole lot for $7,
like $7 or something. Yeah, it was really cheap. That was a good find. It was funny because you just spotted them. It was at a little thrift store that was having a 50% sale, which is great. We were just like, oh, yep, get them all. Just wrap them up.
And that's a good example of just experience, things like I would have never known about something like that, but we had sold it once, and now it's
I know
just
people
like,
look for it.
It's now in my database in my head, so
exactly.
I can just see that stuff.
Yeah.
And, it makes me wonder about all the stuff I pass up because I just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Okay, things we sold, just it's notable things. Well, one thing, we sold this vintage NFL jacket for $300.
LA Raiders. Or Oakland Raiders. I guess they've moved a bunch of times, but anyway. So the cool thing was it was 1980s Raiders jacket. It was fully reversible. One side was black, one side was silver. I've had it up for like 6 months, 8 months.
I bought it for $10.
Bought it for $10.
It's been bought twice already, but the people, it made an offer, we accepted it, and we just never heard from them.
Bought it.
So we finally put it up again.
I put the price down lower.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, I put it down like $100 lower. So it sold, I think, for like $350.
Yep.
Global shipping to someone in like France. So that was great.
Now, the other things I wanted to talk about is a good example of us waiting for things to sell. All of these things took at least 24 months to a sell,
Yeah, or more.
So number one is we sold a vintage it's sharpening stone for $80.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where we would have people, I don't know, it would like make people angry.
Like that it was priced so high?
People would message us and say, why are you selling this stone for so much? Like, I'm selling mine for $10.
Right.
And, it seemed like it was either someone that wanted to buy it that was just upset about it, or someone that had one themselves.
And they were like, it's not worth that.
I don't know. It's like, it's one of those things why people get so offended. Oftentimes we just ignore them. Sometimes I'll just be like, well, it's a free market. People do what they want. So anyway, we sold it. It took a couple of years, but it got bought by someone in
Russia.
It was
$80. So we sold it for $80. So that was the global shipping program item to Russia.
Right. But I mean, things like that is
cool.
To me, it's just like, it's like the principle. Like, yeah, I guess I could just sell it for real cheap and just get it.
I mean, that's true for any item we have.
But again, it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't. There.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not looking at it, and I know it's worth more, and I'm willing to wait. And I got the price I wanted.
I mean, it was definitely vintage too. It wasn't like just one you could buy.
It had a cool
wooden box. Came in.
It's so awesome.
It was really cool. So the other one that did bother me that it hasn't sold forever are these, because they're huge, these vintage gas station lights. They're like enameled steel, white, gorgeous. I have 2 of them.
They're super like popular, that kind of look.
I think we bought them for like $10 each at a flea market.
And we just sold one for $170.
Yep. So I'm glad that one of them sold because it's taking up a lot of room in my storage.
They're super popular if you go into its magazines. I think that's one reason why we're having problems selling them is because they're everywhere.
They sell them new.
Yeah.
For $200 something. These are vintage. It's cool.
So it's
I gotta pack that.
Maybe you have to bring the price down.
I think I have. I have brought the price down in the last few months. So
bring it down more.
No. Okay, so the other thing was these 2 antique cabinet doors. They're like solid oak. They've got this Art Nouveau beautiful image on them. Yeah, carving. And the thing is, I've sold them before. I think one lady returned them, and one lady was like, "Oh, I don't want these. Just refund me." And I'm like, "These things are gorgeous artwork." And so finally, I sold them for $100 this week.
Yeah, and I think we bought them at a flea market for like $5, and
Yeah, they were nothing.
These are it's one of those things where I don't think we could have sold them any quicker, even if we had them cheap, because it's just one of those things where you just have to wait for the right person. Like, who needs like these small oak cabinet doors? Like, it's such a random thing.
Someone who's like making something cool.
And then the last thing we'll talk about that was a cool sale that we've had for a long time is this antique trunk.
Yeah, it's this leather trunk that had all these stickers on it, like travel stickers, and I've had it forever, and I've lowered the price. Finally, we took an offer of $250.
Well, when Ryan says she lowered the price, like we had it up for like $2,000. I think we had like $1,000 on it.
Yeah,
someone gave us
so gorgeous.
Someone gave us an offer of $250, and I could not take it fast enough.
But the problem was this person took like so long to pay for it. I had to open an unpaid item
4
case.
days.
Yeah, but still, you're like,
yeah.
For me, I'm like, they're not going to pay, and then they paid. And I shipped it yesterday.
And it's one of those items where, it looks like it's from the early 1900s. It's like a steamer trunk.
All leather.
With like stickers on. It's like out of a cartoon, except it's for real.
Yeah, it's real. That's why I was like, it's $2,000.
Yeah, it's like, you might as well take a chance. We took a chance. This didn't work out. I mean, we still made a bunch of cash on it.
Yeah, I probably paid like $10 for it.
But there's still, I think for us, it's worth it to try and get those big sales if it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if it's not possible, you can lower the price.
Okay, some things we learned in the its forum over the week. So someone was asking about a mannequin, like.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I mean, he was asking actually about what kind of mannequin. Like, did you get a male and a female?
Oh, right. They were asking like, yeah, exactly.
And that's actually, I don't know. Like, can you get a single? It's like a gender,
you might be
neutral.
Able to. Like
mannequin.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just want to say, so for a long time, we put the clothes on ourselves.
Right.
Like coats. I mean,
sweaters.
Obviously, it's not like pants and like t-shirts.
I don't even think we like sold pants and t-shirts, really.
Yeah.
But it was mostly coats and sweaters. But you know what? We figured out, though, with that? It just took up too much of both persons' time. Like, for me, it was like, I should just do this by myself. Like, you should be working on something else, and I'll do this. Because when you're having a model, it's taking up both people's time.
Right.
So that was a little
So tough. We're now team floor.
I am all about putting... You know what? This is what I thought at first. Sellers who just hung it on the back of a door or put it on a floor, I'm like, I can't believe how, like... Ghetto and lazy that looks. And now I'm like... It doesn't matter. People don't care.
Right.
Honestly.
I mean, again, I think it's like anything, though. There's a difference in how it's done.
Sure.
If it's in like kind of a dark room and the room is messy and it just looks
dirty.
Dumpy, okay, that's no good.
Right.
What we're talking about is we have like a beautiful wood floor.
Right.
It's clean.
Yeah.
You only see the item against this nice wood floor, and there's natural light coming in. That's what it looks like, and it looks like, to me, it looks like a magazine.
It looks fine.
Because for me, it's like getting a mannequin, like I need a male one, I need a female one, and then I have to like put this thing on it.
I'm selling my mannequin.
I've got to put, a shirt on it and button it up. I mean, it's like, forget that, just do it on the floor.
It got to a point where we were just like, look, I have a stack of like women's pants, just...
Right. And what do people do about pants? Do people put pants on a mannequin and like...
My mom puts skirts on a mannequin.
Wow,
it looks amazing. It does look like a magazine. You're like, okay, that looks amazing. That's way too much time for me. For the price I'm getting for a skirt.
Right. I mean, like if you're, doing a shirt for, $20, is it worth spending, 15
just like,
minutes?
Get but the again, info out there.
Everyone chooses the way they want to do it. If it makes someone feel good, and if they feel like their items get picked over mine because they're on the floor, then that's great. It's just
everyone needs to choose what makes sense to them. And for years and years, it made sense for us to model our own clothes.
Because I think we were kind of competing against the cool kids that would like hire their friends,
like models and stuff,
right? Where they had like a white background, and so we were trying to kind of compete with those kids, and then we're like, forget
it. We're not like those kids at all. We're all about volume, So
Okay, and then the other thing it's mentioned
Yeah, this is funny.
was a mystery box.
Boxes. I knew that there were junk drawer lots. I've heard of that. I think that's similar to mystery boxes.
So if you go into eBay and you do a search for a mystery box, there's like thousands of these things where basically there's no picture. It's just like a big question mark mystery box.
I guess that the junk drawers, they actually show them. But.
So it's between, $5 and, $100. I mean, the prices are all over the place. They all say you cannot return the item.
Yeah.
And what they say is you never know what you'll get, And
Could
so
get gold.
I mean, to me it's like you just got to think it through. Is anyone going to put something really valuable in a mystery box?
Right.
It's like, is someone going to be like, oh, here's a 24 karat gold watch.
Throw it in.
I guess it's their lucky day. I'm going to put it in a $5 box.
Well, some of those mystery boxes cost like $100.
Well, even then. And so someone mentioned that there was a video on a YouTube where some girl bought some of these like $5, $20, and $100 one. She opened it up and it was just junk,
Yeah, you're like, no kidding.
And to me, number one, I can't believe eBay allows it just because it seems like it would just cause a lot of problems. Because if I were to try that and I got a box and it was really just junk, I'd probably complain about it, And
right.
I'm surprised. I wonder what eBay would do if they would say, well, it says no returns. It's your own fault, And
also it doesn't say what's in there.
Right.
So, but the problem is, like, if you were a seller that did mystery boxes consistently, wouldn't you have like a ton of negative feedback? Like, I feel like you'd risk just having so much negative feedback from people who are like, this is just junk.
Yeah.
But you're like,
I mean, I saw a one guy where he had like a story behind it where he actually, he put a picture of like a house, like the inside of a house, and it was like a hoarder house, just had all this stuff. So he was like, I'm cleaning this house out. I'm selling boxes of just random stuff. It could be anything. So at least there was a bit of a story, but some of them I'm just assuming you're just going to get like, anyway,
just garbage.
I guess it's like,
I don't know.
I guess it's
maybe we need
it's
to
one
buy
of those
one,
things.
Jay, for
Buyer
$5.
beware. Maybe it feeds into people's, like the people that buy at lottery tickets and stuff. Like they have this irrational idea that they're going to strike it rich, and so it's the same kind of thing. It's like the guys I see at like the corner store, and they're like buying tickets.
Oh, they're just like.
They're just buying tickets like, oh, I'm going to win this
stand
one.
there for hours.
I won $10. I'm going to buy $10 of more tickets.
Yeah.
I just lost all my $10.
Gambling. That's a gambling addiction. Maybe that's what the mystery boxes
and
are.
Each one of those guys I talked to has one story where they hit it big. One time,
I won $1,000.
I made $1,000. And it's something.
And then I bought more lottery tickets.
They just like hold on to that, and that's all they remember. But one day they'll make it rich.
Hey,
it could be.
There are people that do it.
There is that guy. There is that guy in our county that everyone talks about. 10 years ago, he won $1 million.
Really?
Yep, he did.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And people say, and he doesn't spend any of it.
Good. He shouldn't.
I know.
He should just save it.
Yeah. No. He sounds like he's one of those guys.
Hopefully, his kids are getting a nice inheritance
or something. Okay, let's go ahead and take its questions.
The phone number is 540-407-8486. You have 3 minutes to leave a message.
And we want to thank you guys. We asked for more calls because I guess we were just getting calls from brand new people, and they were just asking the questions that everyone always asks.
So we got a bunch of calls this week.
So we asked, those of you that have been on eBay for a long time, I mean, if we want to make this interesting, call in with your stories or comments or it's questions about like more advanced stuff because we'd love to hear about that.
Hey, Jay and Ryan, this is Mark in Virginia. And a little story for you. My wife buys and sells on eBay, and she bought something from a seller in China. And next thing she noticed was she got a delivery and her name was misspelled. One letter was wrong. And she thought, oh, I guess I misspelled my name when I set up my eBay account. I never noticed that before. So soon after that, she got a notification from eBay that an item had been delivered. But we had just seen the mailman, and that package was not delivered. So we checked the tracking, and it showed it was delivered to a location in California, but we live in Virginia. The address in California was a Chinese bulk shipper. So she also got an email from eBay that her account may have been compromised. And so we went in and checked the settings, and sure enough, her address, her shipment address, had been changed to that location in California. And we started thinking about it and thought, well, okay, people get hacked all the time. Somebody must have hacked her account. But we're not sure that that's how it happened, because if you change your password, you tend to get a notification, something like that. We really think that it happened through eBay's lax phone security. In other words, when you call eBay and identify yourself, it doesn't really take too many questions from eBay to certify that you are you. And we think that this person in China contacted eBay and changed her name and then called in again and changed her address. So I'm letting people know that from time to time you may want to check your personal settings to protect yourself against something like this, because I don't really see that eBay has the type of security that would prevent that. So that's my experience, and that's what happened to us. In the end, everything was resolved. eBay took care of it, and PayPal took care of it, so we didn't lose anything. She had to reorder the item that was shipped to California, of course. But, yeah, that's what happened to us. Okay, thanks. Have a great day. Bye.
Well, I'm glad it all came out good in the end. I'm glad you called about this. Yeah, I mean, that's always my big concern, is that, our eBay or PayPal account gets hacked. But I think just like banks and credit cards, I mean, part of their business is they protect you, So I do know if we were to get hacked that we would be covered,
I mean, like you said, they took care of it when you called and let them know. So
now, doesn't eBay have two-factor authentication, or I think that Amazon did that?
I don't know. Does eBay do that? It's weird that they might be able to call and change something, but that's just odd. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon, I know, recently kind of forced everyone to do two-factor authentication.
So you have to get a text.
Which I think is great. So if anything ever happens, you get a text that you have to confirm, which I think is smart.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Roy calling from Pennsylvania. Just listened to your podcast. Great stuff. And at the end, I heard Jay mention a story, anything to share. I've called in before and love your guys' show. I've been selling on eBay since the 90s, and I wanted to share just a quick thing. When it comes to the Friday, Saturday, people hit yard sales, don't overlook estate sales. I know you guys do those as well, but I was out on Saturday, decided to hit one. I saw signs and hit it, and it was pretty clear, kind of a somber note sometimes at these, clearly somebody had passed away. This girl was kind of looked like she was probably in college and certainly distraught. I think her mother had passed. And I kind of just went up to her, was just talking to her a little bit, sorry for your loss, etc. She was super upset, and I just kind of consoled her a bit, and I told a couple things, and I will always ask people, is there anything else that you're considering selling? And she just looked at me. It's like, gosh, you're so nice. Okay, come here. And she actually brought me back into the house and had a whole another room full of stuff that she was considering letting go. And she said, would you be interested in any of this? And I ended up walking out of there with, probably triple the amount of stuff that I originally had. So, and for really, really cheap, I ended up actually giving her a little bit more than she was asking, just because she was just so upset. So, be nice to folks. There's good karma there. Secondly, I just wanted to ask you guys, do you stagger your listings? That is to say, you shoot, you make drafts. Do you put them up a few each day? Do you have any kind of method to that? I think there's been documentation that the eBay algorithm likes to see daily listings of a certain amount. So That's how I usually just shoot everything, list everything that day, get it up, get it listed. So just would be interested on your insights in that. Thanks so much.
So first, I think that's, we love estate sales, just where we are in kind of a rural area.
There aren't any.
There aren't estate sales. Just people don't have fancy houses. People don't do it that way. Everyone, if someone dies, it all gets auctioned off.
Yeah.
I will say we've never done that, and I think it's so smart to ask if they have anything else
for sale.
I know Steve, who does our videos it's Wednesday, he'll go up to people and be like, do you have any stereo equipment? And people are like, I got this thing.
I have an entire room full.
And he's getting like thousands of dollars worth of equipment. I'm like, I never think to do that.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like, if they don't have it out, why would they
sell it?
But that's so smart.
Yeah, I guess.
No,
that's good. And we agree, it is good to be nice to people.
Yeah, I mean
the estate sales are happening because people died.
Right. I mean, it's good to be nice to people because they might, be nice to you on price. But it's good to be nice to people in general.
Just in general.
That's part of just being out there in the world and,
making your way through the world.
And getting, going to people's homes and stuff like that.
Right. In terms of staggering listings, no, absolutely not. I just list when I have time and...
Right. I mean, I understand the idea of eBay likes activity, so it'd be good instead of doing like 100 things on one day, do 10 things over 10 days. I get that. But our lives are busy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just better just to get stuff up,
Yeah, when I have time. Like yesterday I listed a ton of stuff. I think I listed like 50 plus items from my scheduled listings. And that's just when I had time to do it. I don't think I'll have time to list anything today. I might list 5 things, but so I like getting on a run where I can just have a couple hours to just get stuff up.
But, I've said it before, eBay really is oftentimes a practice in feeling helpless. Like we can only do so much. Like we can only control putting things up on eBay and how we take pictures and at price. I mean, so we have a certain amount of ability to be in control of things. But at the end of the day, I don't know when or why people buy from us, And so it is a feeling of helplessness. So people come up with these things of like, well, if I do 10 a day and if I do this and I do that, and if that makes you feel good, then that's awesome because I know that feeling of helplessness can, cause a lot of stress.
Hey, Jay and Ryan, this is Eric from Texas. I wanted to get your opinion on a listing that I had on eBay for some Tom's slip-on shoes. I listened to the episode a couple of weeks ago, and we found a really awesome pair of Tom's for $1, and I thought it was a great opportunity to list them on eBay for the first time. In our title, we put Tom slip-on women's size 6 with the color, and then we put very well-worn shoes also in the title. We had it up for auction for 7 days, and then had a nice bid of $25, which we were excited about because it was about to sell. And on the 7th day, with maybe about 12 hours left, eBay decided to take down the listing and then send us an email saying that the item that we listed was described in a manner suggesting it is being marketed towards an adult audience. So we were confused by that, called eBay, and eBay told us that using the words very well worn in the title is suggestive for adult audiences, may appeal to people with fetishes, or it's also like a sexually provocative title or listing. So I've never seen that before. I don't know if you guys have, but we were kind of like surprised by it and disappointed, frankly, because we were about to sell them. So we had to relist them, and now we're basically starting over with this pair of shoes. And you know, they're very beat up, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get that amount that we had seen before. So just wanted to get your opinion on it. Love the show. Listen to it every week. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we ran into this in the early days of our eBay experience as well.
Yeah. Although where I do say if it has heavy wear, like a pair of Toms, which will still sell, I just put it in the item conditions.
In the description and in the item specifics.
Lots of wear. And I've never had a problem with that because you're like, I'm just telling you.
Okay, so, I mean, just be clear. Yeah, there's this weird, it's fetish community. I mean, I guess it's not that weird. It just people are into, it's what they are. And they like it used, like, clothing and underwear and shoes. And, you know, they'll, like, write you and say, can you take pictures of the shoes on your feet? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that happens. Now, several people have mentioned it, too, where they've gotten emails about that, too.
And you know, a lot of it's more about around the story. So they want to buy something, but there needs to be a story around it, and they want, like, interaction with you.
Yeah, it's totally,
you know, and
not
on the
up our alley.
And on the forum, I've seen people talk about, I wonder how I could get into it. Because it just seems like a great way to make money. I don't know. I feel like it's a slippery slope because it's not as easy as people think it is. Anyway, so yeah, I think the fact that if you put the description in the title, you're kind of flagging it. Like, why would you put it in the title?
Yeah.
Like,
well, another thing that will get you flagged is if you say in the title or the description that it's trashed, because trash shoes. Because I, to be very honest and innocent, I honestly thought that was just like a style.
Right.
Like these are worn out, they're well worn, like you're saying.
Right.
They're trashed, they're, you know, whatever. And I got a pair of shoes. This is actually pretty recently. It was like a couple months ago. It was a pair of Converse. And that got flagged. And I had to change the title and take that out. And I just put, you know, lots of wear, marks, whatever.
Although it is strange. I mean, eBay does allow these things to be sold.
Right.
I don't know why they care if you put it as adult or not. Just, you know, why does it matter?
I mean, do you have to put it... No, I guess you're not really supposed to put it in a special category.
Well, I think you have to say it's adult only, you know.
Only, yeah.
And then if you have a search filter on, then it just filters out the adult stuff.
Yeah.
But, anyway, so...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You know, you just learned something new in the wild world of eBay.
Yeah.
Just put it back up. I personally, I wouldn't do it as auction. Just do
a good buy it now price. You don't need to do an auction.
And
someone will buy it.
Don't put the condition in the title. Put it in the item specifics.
Yeah.
Scavengers, what's going on? I just listened to your recent podcast, and I had a question about one of your customer issues regarding the lady who bought the rug who didn't feel like she should have had to pay as much as she did. It wasn't clear whether she was going to pay for that shipping back. Jay just said, well, we don't care if she can send it back as long as we don't have to pay for the shipping. But the reason didn't seem authentic, and I certainly don't know all the rules with making returns and who pays for shipping, when, and for what reason. But it would seem to me that would be an easy way for a buyer to get out of paying for shipping if they felt that the item wasn't authentic, more commonly used for, you know, a name brand item. But I'd like to hear more about that and what the rules are for who pays for what and when. Anyway, thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, yeah. So when someone says it doesn't seem authentic, we would pay for the shipping. But I'm in the beta program, so what I can do is I can dispute that through the returns process. I can say I don't agree with the buyer's return reason because in the, you know, description she says she just doesn't like it, so that's buyer's remorse. So I would probably call eBay too and get that closed and like just refund the price of the item. I will say this, she never returned it.
And she actually wrote back and said, okay, I like it. I think I paid too much, but I'm going to keep it. And so that's fine.
So we just have the case closed.
I just think for me, it's not like a fair situation where someone wants to like renegotiate the price after they get the item.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like, just send it back. Like, if you don't like the item, send it back. But she's sending it back because she's just changed her mind, not because we've done anything wrong. So,
right.
You know, that's the thing.
So you call eBay or you use your beta program and say,
although someone did write on its forum and said that she had been doing that where people would send things back and she would say, give a refund, but don't give the
shipping back. She would
dispute
cost. She would dispute it through the beta program. But then she looked at her invoice and saw that she was charged for the shipping.
And then she called eBay, and eBay said, yeah, that's how it works, but too bad.
But that's not how it does work.
Now, did we check our invoice?
I haven't checked it yet, so I need to do that. But the one time I think I did call is that this is how they explained it to me through the Anchor reps. They said you will see the charge, but you should see a credit somewhere else.
Right. So why don't we say she sent that rug back, and she said it's our fault. So she prints a label out.
Right.
That money comes from our account, that postage, right?
Right. And so what? So this is how it works. Okay. Now I'm remembering. So it costs say $5, and then you see that cost on your invoice. When you chose the beta program, like you're disputing it, you take that money out of their return. So you've paid that money, but you subtract that money again.
So if she paid $10 for the rug, then you only give her $5 back because it subtracts the shipping.
It subtracts the shipping.
Okay. So you do see the shipping cost,
right?
But then you get
credit through the refund. I think that's what it is. So those reps didn't really know what they were talking about, but you should have been able to, if you're using the beta program, subtracted that shipping out of their total refund. So, yeah, it's a little wacky.
Hello, Jay, Ryan. My name's Tim, and I had a question for you. I was listening to one of the episodes, can't remember the number, but anyway, talking about a lady that got an item that did fit, and she liked the item, but didn't like the color. After talking to the eBay rep at 7 a.m., he sided with you guys. Now my question lies in, do you think there's a better time of the day to call in for when you have an issue such as that, to get a better ruling? In your case, it was 7 a.m. I've called late at night here on the East Coast, and I always get routed 90% of the time to the Far East, and I don't even get treated with any type of respect when doing so. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Keep up the good work, and have a super fourth quarter. Bye-bye.
I don't know if there's any good time of day to call. For me, I have the Anchor support. I call the minute they open, which is 6 a.m. Central Time, and that's 8 a.m. my time. And it's only because I don't want to wait on hold. It's not because I feel like I'm getting a better answer. It's because I'm just like, I don't want to wait 10 minutes on hold or whatever. I want to get someone, I want to be the first person that calls.
Well, I guess that there was a time when we were wondering, I wonder if you called during American business hours.
Oh, then you'll get the U.S.
And
reps.
then if you call off of American business workday, then they send you to...
It's the Philippines.
Philippines, and, and there's this idea that they aren't as empowered, they are just kind of like a reading from a script.
Right.
And have you felt that to be true, or?
I don't know, because I don't call the regular number anymore. I call the Anchor reps.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, I've been on hold, the last time I called, which was the other day to close that return case where the lady never sent the rug back, I was on hold for 20 minutes. It was a long time. I mean, the great thing is I call through the computer, so I'm not using my phone minutes or anything, and I'm doing other stuff, but you kind of can't, you can't really leave. You have to sit at your computer and be like, okay, this is...
Now, people have told us as many times that there's a service where you can say, call me back. Why don't you do that?
Because it's not through, the Anchor reps don't have that. You just have to wait on hold. But, right, so if you have the choice of having them call you back, that's ideal. So you're not sitting on hold for a half an hour or whatever. Right. If you have that choice, do that. That's great. But in terms of getting a better answer for your issue, I don't think there's really any ideal time to call. It's all about hold times for me. I'm just I
mean, plus too, I don't think that. Yeah, I think it's more really kind of luck getting a person who has maybe been there for a while or just feels empowered to do something about a problem, you know, rather than just they're following along a script and be like, okay, if it's A, okay, now go to B, and you know, if not, go to C. Instead, they're actually hearing you. They're making a judgment call, and they're being like, yeah, I agree, you know. And then if we don't get those kind of people, you just say, okay, thank you, hang up, and you can either call back or ask another one at a later date.
Yeah, and so actually, I do want to mention that one of our forum users, Ninja Bob, said that he called, I think it was the Anchor reps, and he didn't like the answer he got for something because it was actually incorrect. He's like, you're actually incorrect on this case. So he hung up, called again, and the rep was like, we know you just called back.
Whoa.
And he got in trouble because it's called like rep shopping or whatever, because you're like trying to get a rep that'll give you a good answer.
And we tell people to do that. We're telling people to do something wrong.
But the problem is...
I just told something to do something wrong.
But the problem is, if you know the rules and you're like, no, actually, this is the rule. As a seller, I'm allowed to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And the rep is not... like going by the rules, then obviously you're like, well, I want to speak to someone
what happened to him? They suspended his store?
No, they didn't suspend his store, but they were like, we're putting notes on your account. And he was like, I mean, the crazy thing is, right? You're like, I'm a seller. I pay a lot of fees. I mean, we pay like, our fees are a lot of money every month. And so you're like, if I feel like I'm not being treated well, I feel like I should get a different rep. I feel like that should be allowed. Sometimes you call back and they give you the same answer and you're like, okay, that's the answer. You know? I've never heard of that happening.
Yeah. So maybe that's as good as not to call back right away.
Now you're telling them,
hey, wait like
call
an
back
hour.
like a couple hours.
Oh no. I had no idea because I mean, I just felt like they don't keep notes, so who's keeping track? It must have been like he called back right away. And it just happened to be, you know, there's probably a room of 40 people or something. Like, and maybe he got, you know, he called the person right next door or something. Or whatever.
But to me, honestly, that whole, like, we're putting notes on your account because you're rep shopping or whatever is offensive to me.
Yeah.
How much money you pay eBay. You pay $300 a month in fees, and you have a special line that you call.
But the way you're saying it is like, because we pay fees, we should get the answer we want. I mean,
no, that's not what I'm saying. It's like, if he understands the rules and the rules are not being enforced properly by the reps, you're like, I know the rules, here they are. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I hear you.
Anyway,
that stinks.
I don't know if that answered its question, but that's how we do it.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for the podcast this week. You can check out our blog at scavengerlife.com for the links we discuss and to join the conversation on the forum. You can call and leave a question on the voicemail line. Again, that phone number is 540-407-8486. We really enjoyed the calls this week. We post an episode every Monday morning. On Wednesday, we post a What Sells video that shows what's sold on eBay, how much it's sold for, currently being brought to you by Steven Schultz. You can subscribe to us through iTunes or YouTube so you always get the latest episode. And we are ending this podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Bye.